Dear sisters and brothers, the gospel passage this morning presents the dramatic homecoming of Jesus to his worshiping community at Nazareth. At the synagogue, he is handed the scroll. He unrolls the scroll and reads the scheduled passage taken from the book of Isaiah, chapter 61. After reading, he hands the scroll back to the attendant and sits down. People look at him intently. He looks at people with authority and begins his preaching by declaring, "Today, this scripture passage is fulfilled in hearing." Isaiah 61, as you may know, is the chapter of hope. And so it speaks about the promise of a new and an everlasting covenant between God and his people. In today's gospel, Jesus boldly identifies himself as the Messiah, the Anointed One, the one who fulfills the covenant and the one who sets us free from sin and darkness. Jesus presents to us a God who defends those whom nobody else does. He declares his radical mission to the families that struggle, people who are deprived of their properties, starving children, prostitutes, and beggars. Yes, Jesus is the Messiah, the Anointed One. He is the Redeemer. He is the Jubilee who sets the captives free. We need him today in our families as well as in our personal lives to set ourselves free. We need him for an eternal jubilee. We need him to open the prison doors of our captivities, even though they are different from those of the Hebrews in Babylonian captivity. In a spiritual sense, we too are the poor, the hungry, the oppressed, the imprisoned, and blind. Our homes today have been captured by the socio-cultural and economic systems that create isolation rather than presence. Our homes, which should be great oases, bastion of presence, have become halls of absence. Household meals in common, perhaps the most obvious and consistent context for being together, have been on the decline for years. Whatever the usefulness of the many technologies we now have, the fact is they tend to take our attention away from those near us, or even isolate us from those next to us and around us. Jesus sets his agenda to bring good news and proclaim release to the captives, restore sight to the blind, free the oppressed. What is our agenda for releasing ourselves and our families from those captivities that isolate us from each other and for bringing us together?